From my side, I just want to welcome everybody. I realize that it's to come through on a Wednesday, during the day, it gets quite tricky and busy at times. But I think here we share a lot of added value and a lot of insights on how we can grow a lot of things. Musa, good to see you here. Thank you for joining as well. So I one of the reasons why I like putting these things together is, obviously with the team, Adrian and everybody coming around, I think more and more people are realizing how powerful Hyperfund is and how we're integrating it into the everyday work sessions. And what we like to do is on a day like today is we break it up into two sessions. We look essentially as an intro session. So we try and go high level overview. And the reason for that is for people that are new here, just to give you an introduction and just to give you an insight into it. There are presentations that take place around the week from Monday all the way through to Sunday. We have Kalpesh, Rob, and we have international training on a Saturday, and on a Sunday we have a leadership. And on a Wednesday, what I like to do is with the team is to delve down and go deeper into it. And what we've done is we've built a very good system that is now starting to, well, I think people are starting to see the benefits and the results of this. So in the overview session, we'll cover how the money is made, who's behind the business, how we move from 15 to 24% a month. And those that are actually have been tracking their performance will realize you're actually getting a lot higher than that. Always like leaving a couple of Easter eggs there. You're sitting around about 29% if you look at it. Also, we highlight the training groups. We'll touch on the crypto card. You've seen that, Adrian, good call there the other day on your buy. You saw the Willies one as well, hey? You like that one? And how to convert the awards, just touch on it. What we don't want to do is go too much into the presentations because there are many recorded presentations and you can attend those live presentations. Session 2 is where we get right into the nitty gritty. That's where we jump into the spreadsheets. We customize how it works for everybody. We look at the Bitcoin loan function, how we get 460% ROI over 60 days using our loan function. How do we work the system to the best to advantage? And for example, we'll also dive down and how to claim your HDAO. I'll be covering that in section 2 as well. And you don't want to lose out on that. That's a great bonus if you've been buying packages as well. Firstly, for everybody around the table, full disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. Neither is anybody that I'm aware of around the table here. This is a community that we get together, that we share ideas, we share advice. This is our insights. There's no particular financial advice. If you want to go and have financial advice, please go and see your financial broker or go and sit with the bank and see what they can do. What we do here is we're in the crypto world and we share our personal experiences and we share it with truth and we share it with transparency as far as everything that's experienced in the market that we go through as well. Also, just remember, I mentioned earlier as well, we have presentations and those are published in our Telegram group. So if you're not part of the Telegram groups, please jump onto those Telegram groups. And then exciting, something that I'm just going to throw to the group now, and I'd like to get some answers before we go into the advanced session, is that I'm going to be traveling to Cape Town on Tuesday. And what I thought to do is maybe host some functions for where people in Cape Town would like to meet one-on-one or not through the, through the Zoom. We're looking at maybe on the 5th and on the 10th, that's Thursday morning, and a Tuesday evening, maybe getting together and doing a 2-hour work session or presentation session. And that will also enable you to sort of meet one-on-one or ask questions. And then what I'm suggesting is on the 7th and on the 14th is to do a full workshop. We have Lizanne, and we're going to share her details a little bit later. She's got a great venue that we'll be able to do. I'll pay for the venue. I'm not worried about that. It's more that if you would like to, what I would like to do is those people that are genuinely interested and are struggling a little bit, is that you arrive there from the morning. We go through a whole from start to finish, that you would be able to walk out of there with everything structured, your business operational, earning for the next day. So this is something I just would like you guys to think about. and see if there is a need for that. I'm putting forward my time when I'm in Cape Town there to be able to meet with you, to be able to put those sessions together. And then if there's anybody particularly in Cape Town that would like to meet one-on-one, then there's an opportunity that I can look in my diary and see if there is an opportunity to meet and take things forward from that perspective. So essentially, who is behind Hyperfund? What is Hyperfund? So Hyperfund is based on 4 companies that have been around for an excess of 6 years. You've got Colin Star Capital, who is the #1 IPO specialist in the business. There are businesses that have been registered since 2014. They are registered in Australia with the Australian Securities Exchange Council, and it was founded and headed up by Ryan Chu. Now, Ryan Chu has been in the business of cryptocurrencies since 2009 and is a stalwart, is probably the top 10 influencer in the world when it comes to cryptocurrencies. He made his money on mining operations and still to this day has a lot of mining operations around the world and is a leader when it comes to regards to that. He's also supported by Sam, his partner, with Blockchain Global, Digital X, another company of theirs. And then you've got Hcash, which was started development in 2016, which really redefines how tokens and how cash is working within the blockchain to make it computer resistant to quantum computing, meaning that the concern is as soon as computers get faster and faster to quantum computing, the blockchain stands at risk that those computers are so fast that they'll be able to solve the algorithmic problem before the next block is issued. So Hcash makes sure that this is not possible. So very strong companies. Colin Star Capital, for example, has their own mining software, proprietary actual hardware as well that they retail out. They've also got specific divisions that trade specifically cryptocurrencies as well. And they also, Ryan Chu himself and the group have over 46 different partnerships when it comes to exchanges. And I'm not just talking about any Mickey Mouse exchange. I'm talking about exchanges such as Binance, the biggest exchange. Ryan Chu, the guy that you see ahead of you, he is the #1 holder, the biggest shareholder of that company. And he has been an angel investor in a lot of exchanges, etc., that has come out over the last couple of years. He's also successfully launched and still has 12 of the top 20 cryptocurrencies sitting in the top 20. So out of the 80 that he's launched, 12 of them are still sitting in the top 20, which is massive. And he's been an angel investor there. He's also the majority shareholder of 5 Australian NASDAQ companies in their tech companies as well. So he is a very wealthy guy in his own right. He's obviously a billionaire. And he and his team, they call him actually the Martian. So if you're looking for a nickname, Ryan the Martian, that's what they call him because of the way he thinks. And they just see him as outer space. Then you got Sam Lee. Sam Lee is the chairman of the Hypertech Group, and he's considered the prince of cryptos when it comes to Australia. And they have a very strong affiliation, obviously not just with Australia, but with China and Hong Kong. And that's obviously a massive market. Sam has traveled around the world speaking at various different World Economic Forums. He deals with United Nations. He's currently dealing with over 12 countries on how to bring blockchain into the governments and into the operations. And that's dealing with people from the president of Switzerland all the way down to Pakistan, etc., etc. He's also, their company consults with the likes of Amazon, Microsoft, and has been regularly interviewed with Forbes, Bloomberg, CNN TV. Then they have another partner called Roy Lamb. Roy Lamb was a hedge funds manager, and he personally owns nearly 12% of the second biggest exchange in Australia. He's a part of Mensa, meaning the guys with very high IQs, and he's considered the brain. And when he's actually a bit of a celebrity when he goes to Hong Kong, a lot of the people just like, they really just, like we have rugby heroes. He is like a mind rugby hero there. When he walks in the street, he's like signing autographs, etc. He's a legend, bright guy, highly intelligent, and we can see that he has been extremely successful when it comes to trading. Then you've got Chris Kay, who's part of the team, the core team. Now, Chris got into cryptocurrencies when he was 13 years old, and he's an absolute leader when it comes to social media strategy and integration of how we bring this all together. Very understated guy, but exceptionally bright, intelligent, and knows exactly how to ride this into the market. I very much look forward to meeting with Chris Kay in the future. So in their portfolio, they got multiple things, but I've just put some stuff up like VeChain, Tron. You might have heard of Binance, Huobi. These are some of the exchanges, for example, that they've got. So the question is, what are they trying to do? Why are they doing this? Why have you got 4 successful companies that are now seeking our attention? What is it all about? So they've gone out and they've developed financial services. For example, over here you can get a mortgage. This is the banking arm. Here you've got the payment on Hyperpay, and that is essentially what we've been showing you, where you get the card, and we'll touch on that a little bit more as well. Hypermall, think of it as an online Amazon shop. The mining operation, news, and think of how big Netflix is. Well, there's Hypershow coming in with Netflix, and that's all around HyperDAO. Is used as their central DeFi ecosystem that they're working through. That's the DeFi coin that they're working through. Now, you can have a very successful company. You can have millions, but what is the one thing that makes you stand out? And that is users. So they've recognized to say, hang on, if you look at Amazon, if you look at Facebook, if you look at all the other major powerhouses, what do they have? And that's users. So they have identified their niche, and they have now said they are building an eco community, a closed community with a target of 30 million users. And as part of that, they are using affiliate marketing to attract people to see the products and services that they've got, to try the services that they've got. And that's what we're here to chat to you about today. There's some really good money to be made, and you do not need to network this business. Let me emphasize this. You do not need to be a networker. This is straight from an investment point of view. There is a benefit if you're affiliate, but you don't need to. To get that 24%, you can do that on your own without referring the business. The card that we spoke about earlier, we'll do this in the advanced class as well. You get a card. It's a nice metal card. Bonus, 50,000 US dollars a day limit. 50,000 US dollars, that's huge. It's one of the fundamental things that we've been struggling with here in South Africa, is how to spend our cryptos. And you can use this card in 176 countries with over 50 million merchants worldwide. And we have tested it, we have used it. Adrian himself has pulled a lot of cash out of the ATM, and I myself have been spending on it, no problems as such. So how easy is it to get involved? Well, the person that's invited you, or person that's brought you onto the show, just ask them for their link. You buy a $300 membership, and we're going to get into the detail about that. You use USDT Tether, and you'll be activating and earning rewards the next day. So one of the major questions that I get and we get is, okay, great. How is the money made? How does this work? So instead of me explaining it, just to introduce you, I'd like to, one of the presenters, Kalpesh Patel. I think he does a great job in explaining it. So I'm just going to play a short video for you to have a look at. And then after that, I'll sum it up in and break it down for you. But let's listen to Kalpesh for a moment.
You can do that with us in Hyperfund, the 5th company under Hypertech Group. And here you get paid to build a community. How simple is that? If you're on Facebook, guess what? Somebody invited you and you joined. And you invited somebody and they joined. You built a community. Mark Zuckerberg is worth hundreds of billions because of you. Congratulations. If you've ever referred anyone to anything, you've built a community and a customer base for somebody. And they may have thanked you, but did they thank you financially? I don't know. This company thanks you super well. And so here you can earn passive leverage and residual profits daily. And so Hyperfund is hyper fun, and it's a unique once-in-a-life opportunity. You can join today and immediately within 24 hours be earning a profit. How does that work? Let's have a look. You learn and earn at the same time here, right? So first of all, the company is building Mars Academy. Here you will have access to blockchain and crypto education. They understand that most people on the planet, they might have heard of crypto and blockchain, but don't understand it. So they'll teach us about it. The second benefit is daily profits. That's right. Every single day, the company will share profits with you based on your membership level. So what happens when you become a member of our organization, they take your membership fee and put it to work in the markets on your behalf. So it's a real nice, relaxed way of earning passive income because they're the experts. You don't need to be. We don't need to learn how to read charts and trigger signals at the right time and do all of that kind of stuff. These guys know what they're doing. Let them make the money and let them give us a nice, simple and passive income daily. Really powerful. And the third benefit when you become a part of this community is that in the future, as new projects get delivered, you will get to buy in at a 20 to 30% discount. How about that? New projects coming in, you get them at below market value, and then bang, you benefit immediately when they go public. So that's the exciting part, probably one of the most exciting parts going forward. So let's have a look at how this group makes money. First of all, we are talking about a company that dominates its space. They're the #1 group in the world when it comes to anything blockchain, okay? The second thing to note is that blockchain is the space to be in. The world's biggest transfer of wealth is happening right now. Money doesn't disappear, it simply moves direction. And if you know where money's moving to and you can get in front of that stream early, then if you're in the stream, you catch the river and then you get into the ocean, all right? So the key is understanding how money moves and then moving with it, all right? And so the group profits in many, many ways that they're completely integrated vertically in the whole industry, as I've already demonstrated to you. So they make money mining. Imagine. So every time a new project comes out, a new token, a utility token that is real, that's got a business built around it, cryptocurrencies are like shares these days, all right? They've matured. In the old days, there's a lot of speculation, a lot of non-value propositions that happened, and it was all very meaningless and kind of up in the air. But now it's become a strategic way of monetizing businesses, all right? So we will get access to great mining opportunities with this company. They're market makers. This is the bit I love. They're not asking us to learn how to make money from the markets and how to trade. They are market makers and not market chasers, which means they own so much cryptocurrency stock of so many different variety of cryptocurrencies that when they buy or sell certain currencies, they move the markets. They influence the price. And if they can influence the price by a few percent every day, they can trade those movements, which means that they're making money every single day. They're literally clipping a little bit here, clipping a little bit there every single day. So they're able to do that for us too. Isn't that super cool? They will leverage their technologies, their skills, their expertise, and their track record to give us a break. How awesome is that? They're angel investors. They're like the Dragon's Den or the Shark Tank of blockchain. And so they see the best projects first before everybody else because they're the biggest in the world. And so when great projects land on their table, if they like them, they fund them, but they don't just give them their money, they back them with their resources. So they support new projects that they funded with expertise and consultancy and help those projects rise. And in the space of angel investing, if you get it right, you multiply a penny by multiple dollars. You can turn a penny into $1, a penny into $10, a penny into $100, and sometimes a unicorn pops up and you can turn a penny into $1,000. And these guys have done that on more than one occasion, as you've already seen. They stake their own projects, which means literally they get to create businesses that only increase in value over time. And so, they have tokens and coins, currencies that increase naturally and progress naturally over time. They list other people's tokens, valuable utility tokens, onto cryptocurrency exchanges around the world, of which most of the biggest and successful ones, they funded and have shares in. So they've got multiple revenue streams from this massive, explosive, emerging industry. And we can now profit with all of that through them. Pretty cool, right? So how do you do that? Very simple. Become a member of this beautiful community. So
let me just get down to the numbers, the cold turkey. So we know that there's multiple income streams. We know that they're money makers. We know that they obviously doing IPOs and they're trading on the exchanges and etc. But just let's get down to me as a simple individual getting involved in the business. So we know that there's different packages from 1,500 and 300 and so forth. Let's just take an example. So they've based their offer on a 150-year-old business principle called a convertible bond. But they have changed the terminology to membership because they actually launched it as a convertible bond. You will see some of the old marketing material will actually talk about a convertible bond, but they've had to change that because each different country has different legislations and rules in that. But simply put, a convertible bond is an agreement between a customer and a business. And it says, right, based on these conditions, I will pay X. The same way you would, let's say, get a government bond. You might have heard of a government bond before, where you might, let's say, buy a government bond for 900,000 Rand, and it pays out R1 million, let's say, in 5 years. There's a term and a payment and a conditional linked around that. So simply put, as a business, not having to sell shares or move anything else, they're saying, right, we will offer you currently 3 times back on the money that you put in. Now, this 3 time ranges from between 2 and 3.5. I have bought a lot of memberships at 2.5. It's currently 3. It can go back to 2.5. It can go up to 3.5. That's entirely up to the company, how the profits are working and how much they want to share with us as individual partners that are joining in to be part of the profits. So let's say we put in 1,000. I buy a membership package of $1,000. That means that the company currently is going to pay me $3,000 back. So how does that work? It works on a minimum of 0.5%, between 0.5% and 1% on the original capital. So that would be 0.5% multiplied by the $1,000, means that I will invest or buy a membership of $1,000, and they will then pay back to me $5 a day until they have paid me $3,000. So let's look and see how long it's going to take me before I get there. I take $1,000 and I divide it by 5. That is going to be 200 days before I've got my return on my initial capital. If I take 3,000 divided by the 5, that's going to be 600 days. So what percentage are we actually earning per month? Well, we know there's 30 days in a month, and we know that we're earning 0.5. So if I go 30 multiplied by the 0, oh, no, again, not by the 5, by the 0.5, that is going to give me a return of 15%. So just in a standard position, you'll be earning 15%.
Your spreadsheet is very small. Your picture is big and your spreadsheet small. Can you make the spreadsheet a bit bigger, please?
Okay, Sanette, it might be your screen specifically. Let me just check with everybody else. What have you seen in full screen?
Rory, I can see it absolutely perfectly.
Okay, Sanette, it might be
It's
on your.
bigger and it's larger than life. I can see it. It's 100%.
Perfect. Perfect.
Sunette, if you go to your view at the top right of the screen, go to your view, you can change the view.
Thanks, it's already correct.
Play with the view.
Okay. Yes.
All right. Thanks, Sanette. All right, let's carry on, guys. So you're going to get 15% a month. And I think in any terms, that's a great return. But when we looked at this, we said, okay, Tennis and myself were working through this. We worked and said, how do we maximize? How do we take this one step further? So we then looked at it, and one of the things that we're able to do is buy multiple memberships on multiple positions. So let's say I now bought another position of $1,000. That position, so that's $1,000 position. And let's say I referred myself, which I'm fully entitled to do, and I'm earning 0.5%. That would mean that I am essentially earning $5 today, just like I am on this position. However, because I'm sharing the opportunity to myself or to others, I'm entitled to a percentage of a commission, and it's broken down to 20% on the first level, 15% on the second level, 10% on the third, 5 on the fourth, 5 on the fifth, 5 on the sixth, and on it goes down to 20 levels. So that means because I referred myself, I am entitled to 20% of that $5, which becomes what we call accelerated rewards. which means that it allows me to get my $3,000 faster. So how much would that be? I would then say take 20% multiplied by the $5, and that means I'm getting $1 extra today. So just by me signing or putting an investment of $1,000 underneath myself, referring myself or working with my capital, I'm now earning an extra $1. So let's bring that dollar into the equation. I was earning $5. I pull that $1 down, and now I'm earning a total of $6. So let's see what that impact that has on my monthly earning percentage. Well, we know that there's 30 days in the month. We know we're earning now $6 because we can see that over there. And if I go 30 multiplied by 6, that means I'm earning $180. So what effect does this have from paying my money back? So I would say I take the $1,000 divided by 6, means I only need 166 days to get my initial capital back. And if I do this on the 3,000 and I divide it by the 6, that means I'm only going to take 500 days to get my money back. So what percentage change has happened? So we know that we were getting 15% here. If we just take a normal position, there's 15%. So what if we know we got $180 divided by 1,000? That has now taken us to 18%. So just by restructuring one position, we've been able to increase our return to 18% over here. So let's change it up a bit. Let's say, like in my position, I'm not really a major networker. That's not my focus. I invest money, I leverage money, I work with capital for investors and also for some corporates. So let's say now I was to put $10,000 underneath here. How does that affect the equation? Well, I'm still earning 0.5%. So that now raises that to $50. And where I was earning $1, I'm now earning $10. So if I put that $10 in the equation like we have here, I have now increased my return to $15 a day and now 45% return, which means based on my referral or the way I've structured the capital, I am earning 45% on that 1,000. So what does that mean from an overall earnings point of view? So let's say we know we put $1,000 in. That's the one over there, the original 1,000. We know we've added another $10,000. So that's collectively a total investment on my part on buying membership packages of $11,000. And what am I earning off that $11,000? So we know we're earning the $5 originally. We know we're earning the $10, and we know we're earning the $50. So that's the total earnings. That is bringing us $65 back. So what is that from an earnings perspective? So 65 divided by 11,000 means that we're now earning at a rate of 0.591% per day. And what does that mean from a month perspective? So we multiply that by 30, and keep in mind some months obviously have 31. We now have increased that to 17%. And the reason why this is a little bit less than what we're earning here is because the majority of the 10,000 is sitting directly under. So when we looked at it, we thought that was great, but let's take it one step further. What if we can structure this in a better way to get even more income? And we come up what we believe is got the ultimate structure. What if I was earning on all these percentages and I structured this accordingly? So that would change the equation to say, right, not only am I earning the $10, I'm going to be earning the 10. If I add this all up together, what does this now mean? So instead of earning $10, I'm earning $30. And let's see how that changes the equation on all sides. So you see the $10, I'm going to replace that now with the 30. So equals $30. Can you see the 30 has changed there? So immediately we've jumped up to 23.18%. And I'm now going to be getting my money back here in 28 days. I'll be getting my 1,000, and 85 days I'll be getting my 3,000 out, which means that 1,000 is now earning at 105%, and my overall average is earning at 23.18%. What makes Hyperfund outright, in my opinion, one of the best things in the market right now is, firstly, it's who's behind the company and the credibility. I did 3 months due diligence on this business before I even took a breath in, before Tinus and I even spoke about it. In fact, we weren't really looking to network this business at all. We were actually just sharing this opportunity because we want everybody else to benefit from what we found as well. So the first thing that really makes us very powerful, number one, is that you are 3 timesing your money. You're taking $1,000 and you're moving it up to 3,000. So that's number one. The second thing that's very powerful is that we've taken this from 15%. Let me put this here. And we now have rocked this up to, let's call it, it works out to roughly 24% when you look at the structures in total. And the third thing that makes this extremely powerful is that once you've bought a membership package, you have the ability to repurchase a package not at $1,000, not at $500, not at $300, but at $50, which makes the ability to compound interest, the eighth wonder of the world, very quickly. So here, the third thing that's most important is that you can rebuy into the system with $50 increments once you have secured a package. So people say, well, what's really the difference, Rory, between 24% and and 15%? Does it really make that much of a difference? Absolutely. So we take 24% divided by 30, meaning 30 days. That's 80% return. I'm going to go even more conservative. I'm going to look at working this at 22%, even less conservative than what we got right here. And I'm going to call up a compound calculator and show you the impact of how important compound interest is and what impact this has on your business. So let's find a nice generic compound calculator. So this is a nice one. Just going to show us some nice things. Now it's got annual interest. I want daily interest. Let's try this one. I think this is a nice one. So let's say we put in $10,000. Can everybody see this? Can everybody see this?
Yes, Rory.
Sorry, okay, sorry, I just thought I've got offline for a second.
Yes,
And then
Rory.
the daily interest rate is 0.5%. So remember, 0.5% gives you 15% a month, right? Let's look at this over a year. And we reinvest our money after a year. And with cryptos, we trade every single day in the markets, not just Monday to Friday. It's Monday to Sunday. It doesn't stop. So we earn Monday to Sunday with Hyperfund. So we take $10,000 and at 0.5%, that means we've increased our $10,000 to a profit margin of $51,000 at a total return of 61. Now remember, just by tweaking the structure, we went from 0.5 to 0.74. We actually went to 0.8, but I'm not even going to put 0.8. I'm just going to put 0.74. Let's see what impact that has on the profit at the bottom, just by increasing from 0.5 to 0.74, which is less than half what my original percentage is. Let's calculate that. I go from a 51,000 profit to $137,000 profit. And that is the impact of just one aspect of what we've been able to tweak out in the system. So when we have a look at this, and I'd like to thank obviously Tinus and also Shane. We put a lot of work into these spreadsheets to make it work. I put a lot of hours in, Tinus as well. And Shane came up with the spreadsheet that we've used. We've come up with an ultimate structure that we believe gets the best results. Now, you don't have to have all this kind of capital to work with. You can start as simple as 1 with level 3, 4, or 6, but we've taken what we believe is an ultimate structure. And if you took $17,000 here, we're going to use this as an example. And I'm just going to reset everything so I can show you how that works, how the spreadsheet works. The question is, how much am I going to earn? Now, this is pretty accurate. And again, I'm not giving financial advice. I'm not promising anything. This is based on our experiences. This is based on what we've gone through. So we know that we got $17,000 at, you can see we've reduced this to 0.72% to be a little bit more conservative. You start out at $122. By the end of 30 days, that would have compounded and grown to $150. And you can see on the left here, every time that we get enough to buy a $50 package, we buy $100, $100, and then there's accumulation, 150, etc. And this compounds over and over again. In 6 months, we've been able to take it from $122 to $445, and that is an earnings of $13,000 per month. After a year, you're earning $1,600 per day and $50,000 per month. And keep in mind that because there's a 3x, your drawdown, in other words, you still got to draw down, is $471,000. So what we always like to do is make sure that we mitigate risk as best as possible. And what we've been doing is saying, okay, well, let's put our investments in, let's buy our memberships. After month 4, what I like to do is get all my capital out. So let's say we pull out 358.56. That's going to pull out $10,000. I put in $17,000, so I'm still a bit short. So let's pull out $275. That's going to give me $19,000 back. That will give me back $313,000, which means I am no longer at risk. Even though I've taken that capital out, I'm still earning from after month 6, $10,000, $12,000, and it keeps increasing. And what we've been doing is we've been taking this capital out, buying Bitcoin, and using Bitcoin as a loan functionality to put back in. But even if you decided not to do that and you decided, well, gee whiz, I would like, let's just give ourselves a salary. Let's say we start out with $150 for 3 months, 75,000 Rand. And then we just decide to up it to $200 a day, and we decide that we're going to earn 100,000 thereafter. What does that do to the equation? You can still see, even though you've pulled this money out, you are still earning and still can draw out additional capital here. And you will still have $1.6 million to draw down, or after 1 year, $270,000 to draw down, even though you've pulled out all your capital and you've pulled out an income from month after month 6. So this is the power of what we've been able to put together. And this is why we're wanting to share it with everybody, is that this is for us has been quite eye-opening and remarkable to be able to, and we feel there's nothing that really competes with this in the marketplace. And if you combine this with the loan function, and we put loans in and leverage capital, etc., the earnings are absolutely exponential when it comes from there. So I'm just going to end off by quickly just running through some more credibility about the company. And then I think I'm going to open it up to questions. If there's anything, maybe I can touch on the Hyperpay app as well. But here's Sam Lee being interviewed by CNN. These are little videos you can watch, etc. There's Sam being interviewed by Microsoft. I think what I'll do is I'll download them and upload them so you can watch them. Here's Ryan Chu, the Martian. This is in a little secret mine. This is one of the first mining operations that they put together. Here you can see Ryan Chu with CZ. CZ is a legend in the marketplace. He's everywhere. If you go to all these functions, Ryan Chu, here's the kingpin in this, all of this. As I said, I reckon definitely top 5 influencer when it comes to cryptos in Asia, and in the world, definitely top 10. You can see him with political influence, whether it's Donald Trump, whoever else. And over here, this is Chinese's state broadcast television that broadcast to over 1 billion viewers in China. So this is Ryan being interviewed on cryptocurrency, where things are going, etc. Here you can see, Sam integrating with the different guys. This is the president of Switzerland. Wherever you go, they've been working. Yes, with Russia. You've been working with Indonesia. You've got the guys here working with Pakistan over this side. You've got Australia. So they've really been working with all the different countries and showing them how to bring blockchain into everyday government and observation. The other thing is, don't just take my word for it. Go out and do your own research. Go and look at what's happening. They also partner with 4 strong universities, Monash, etc., Purdue, and they have sponsored a lot of development money, but also they've been doing that because they've worked with Hcash. And just to give an indication, I showed you 4 guys in the beginning. Please understand, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Digital X as a company itself has got Blockchain Global as itself has over 500 employees, offices around the world. You can go and check that all out. Here you can see Digital X has done a deal with a US bank.
Rory, you and I are going to be traveling as soon as lockdown's over. We are flying to their offices, and we will be there, people.
Yeah, Adrian and I have said we want to get there ASAP, and we want to do. And anybody that wants to join us, I think, is welcome. Adrian, anybody want to?
Oh, absolutely. The more, the merrier, guys. Let's.
Where are you guys planning to go to?
Adrian, so what we wanted to do, as soon as things have lifted, just for a bit of validation for those persons that are still, we wanted to fly to Australia and go to their offices, and then in their offices in Hong Kong. But we obviously just got to see what the situation is at the time. So we requested an invite to go across there. And one of the stop-offs we're looking at doing is Singapore as well. And that's to go and meet with the master distributor, Rob, as well. So it's a concept at the moment, but if we do it, we'll certainly just put it onto the group for those that want to come along for the ride. All right. So yeah, you can see Digital X. They've also, they've been bought a lot of technology. You can see they've bought out this technology. The guys, this is a group by Wang. They do chips specifically in the mining, and they just paid out $100 million cash. You can go and check, there's 300 million on a blockchain. And I think also, just to highlight it, these guys have got a dedicated, and this has been, they were asked to do this. And they have on Prime TV, you can check it out yourself, a blockchain channel where they talk about the industry, the influencers. Now, Amazon themselves is not going to get people that are not reputable or not influential in the market. So the other thing is, I didn't just take that stuff at face value. I went out and did my own research as well, and also pulled up the documents. I went and I put together this little guide. This is this is just to help you get fast tracked, where you can come in as a member only and just invest your own capital. And if you wanted to, share it or be a community builder, we can have some documentation. And again, I stress you don't need to do that. I just put my own capital in to start, and that was it. With this guide, there's little videos here you can click how to work it, and instructional videos. We're going to update this soon anyways. And here's the social media support. There's 3 areas where you can get. Maybe we can just put this in the chat. Or maybe Bethany, if you can just, if you got these, can you put them in the chat? And let's have a look here. What else have we got going?
Hi, Rory. Is that the groups, Telegram groups?
Yeah, the Telegram groups, just so that anybody that's not on the Telegram, they can jump on board and go for it, if you don't mind.
I've already put those groups on.
Super, thank you.
On the chat.
Great.
Can you also post this document in the chat, because people are asking for it? I see Debbie Turner is asking for it.
So you can also watch on the 10th, there was the official summit. So a lot of people are saying, why haven't we heard about Hyperfund? So I was actually exposed to Hyperfund because of a lot of the dealings I do with London and some American banks. It was brought to my attention when it was still in a beta phase, because they started last year, October. And I was aware of it towards the end of the year, and I started engaging in February and did my due diligence for 3 months. And it's only been launched to the Western world now on the 10th of June. So prior to that, that's why you might not have heard about it before. It's not as common language, but it is growing extremely rapidly and certainly expanding at a good pace. But if you want to understand where the company is going, you can go onto this document and go and click the 10th of June and go and see what the company has in plan as well. There's also the Google Drive. You click on here, you can go and get all these documents, including presentations, etc. But I think the most important thing is go and do your due diligence. Here's some of the stuff that I went out and did. You can click on these links, and it's going to bring you back to certain other links. So you can see, yes, proof of registration with the Australian Securities Investment Commission, proof that Blockchain Global exists, proof of ownership, the registration information, etc. You can go through some financial reports as well on the growth funds of some of the stuff that they have. So you can just put a whole bunch of documents together to show you that this is not just a Mickey Mouse operation that's sitting out there. So from my side, I think it's just a high-level overview. And yeah, I think we open up for questions. I mean, I can show you the app as well, but I think let's leave that for the advanced class. For those that are really interested in